steel band and their groups, they were able to identify with something that is uniquely Trinidadian and come together.
French, and English, and Portuguese, and in Dutch. This is why you see in Trinidad there are different names like Chaton, and San Jose, which is St. Joseph. We are a cosmopolitan people. Recently, we got another one after checking one in 1976. So Trinidad is unique in itself. But now we will all this is in motion. I'm going to ask Mr. Marcus to say, who is the prayer?
Could you do me a favor, please, and just reach out to your neighbor, shake his or her hand, please? We'll do this with love in these hallowed halls. Don't squeeze too hard. Here tonight, we ask that you continue to comfort us with your sense of goodness. Favor us with patience and draw us closer to you, but most of all, give us a sense of peace that goes beyond normal understanding. Tonight we ask you to take everyone back to their homes, to their respective homes that is, incident-free. And thank you, God, for being in our midst. Give us a mandate that we will get closer to you as the days and the nights go by. Thank you for your mercy. Amen and amen.
Now I'm going to ask you to stand for the national anthem, first of the United States of America, played by Jaya Roberts. Now the national anthem of Trinidad and Tobago.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, on the third to last page of your program, there's a map of Trinidad and Tobago. And if I asked you, what is the city or the capital of Trinidad, everybody would say, ooh, Port of Spain. You know that it's Port of Spain. I'm asking, who knows number 6? Where is number 6? Quickly, by show of hands. Who knows where number 6 is? No talking, boys and girls. This is a test to see how well you know your land. Oh, I see some hand in the back. Where is that? Miara, okay, excellent. Let's give her a round of applause.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. First, let me start by conveying the regrets of my Consul General, Mrs. Rudrawati Nanrangulam, who was unable to be here because of commitments elsewhere. I am sure she would be most pleased to have been here and to celebrate 50 years of independence of Trinidad and Tobago with nationals in New York. When I was told that I had to attend on her behalf an event hosted by the United States STEELBAND organization, 2 things quickly came to my mind. The impact of the STEELBAND on the development of Trinidad and Tobago, and the impact of the STEELBAND on the lives of the persons who played and was part of the STEELBAND movement. In thinking of the first point, it occurred to me that once the history of the music is written, Trinidad and Tobago will always be mentioned because of the STEELBAND. It is a musical instrument that was invented in Trinidad and Tobago, and has, over the last 100 years or so, traveled to every corner of the globe. Anywhere you go, you can find a STEELBAND or hear STEELBAND music. It has also been at the forefront of the cultural life of Trinidad and Tobago for 100 years. It is an integral part of the 50 years of the independence of Trinidad and Tobago. But how did the persons who participated in the movement, how did it impact them? For some it meant a means of expressing the talents and skills that they have learned. For others, it meant an opportunity to better themselves economically. But most of all, to the Trinidadian, the STEELBAND, to me, is the vehicle by which communities came together. Not only the band members played, but the communities adopted those bands and forged the relationships that led to the development not only of the STEELBAND as a musical instrument and the pan music being exported and being played all over the world, but to relationships developed in different music halls and concerts around the world that led to other forms of development, other forms of business activity that has impacted the life of Trinidad today. Important that members of the diaspora, the Trinidad and Tobago diaspora, forge these same relationships outside of the Trinidad, the STEELBAND movement. And it is the hope that the efforts of the United States STEELBAND Association will form a vehicle by which bands from different communities in the Brooklyn and New York area can come together and work together, not only to promote music, but to enrich the lives of not only the Trinidad and Tobago nationals living here, but their communities. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank the members of the United States STEELBAND Association for inviting our Consul General and the Consulate to be part of this event, to congratulate them on their efforts to promote a harmonious and fruitful event whereby the nationals of Trinidad and Tobago can celebrate the 50th anniversary of the independence of our nation. And to hope that this will not only be confined to 50 years, but it will be an annual event at which I am sure if I am not there, some member of my fellow colleagues at the consulate will attend and to participate and bring words to the nationals of Trinidad and Tobago. I say congratulations on their 50th anniversary of independence, and I say thank you to the members of the United States STEELBAND Association for inviting us to be here. Thank you.
Thank you again, Mr. Chapman. Borough President Sandra Chapman, we just spoke. Welcome.
Thank you, Madam MC. Good evening, everyone. Come on, let's do better than that. It's a beautiful evening. Yeah. Welcome to Borough Hall. Unfortunately, Borough President Marty Markowitz couldn't make it tonight, but most of you know where he's from. Here's another test, Madam MC. Here's another test for the audience. Do you know where Borough President is from? I can't hear you. Tuna, that's right. First, I would like to acknowledge the Vice Consul of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Kenrick Gaya. Thank you for the presentation. I would like to also welcome all of you, our friends and our family, to your home, Borough Hall. This is your home. Now, as we celebrate 50 years of independence here in Brooklyn, the Caribbean capital of America, and the Trinidadian capital, we have so much to be proud of. For a small nation, Trinidad and Tobago has given so much to Brooklyn and the world. By the way, I'm sure all of you were thrilled to cheer for all of the Caribbean athletes at the London 2012 Olympics, especially the 4 Olympians medalists from Trinidad and Tobago. They deserve a round of applause. Thank you. Can you imagine Brooklyn without the sights, the sounds, and the taste of that immigrant, the taste of the food from Trinidad and Tobago? We just sampled some of it. Wasn't that great? Can you imagine what our lives would be like without our home-cooked food? No. So, our Borough President, I ask you to enjoy your night and get home safe. I would like to present the proclamation to Mr. Marcel and the Vice Consul. I'm not going to read it, but what I'm going to tell you at the end, Marty, President of the Borough of Brooklyn, do hereby proclaim Friday, August 17, 2012, Trinidad and Tobago Alliance of North America 50th anniversary of the independence of Trinidad and Tobago, Celebration Day in Brooklyn, USA.
Borough President Sandra Chapman. Now we will hear from Michael D. Roberts, District Press Officer.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It sounds like as if Trinidad is not celebrating 50 years of independence. You all are so quiet. My name is Michael Roberts, and I am the District Press Officer for State Senator John Sampson, the leader of the Democrats in the Senate. Unfortunately, Senator Sampson could not be here this afternoon, and so it falls to me to just bring greetings on behalf of the Senator and the 12,000 Trinidad and Tobagonians who live in his district, the 19th Senate District in Brooklyn. I'm not going to keep you long because I know you want to have fun. I have two proclamations here. The first one is for the United States STEELBAND Association, and I asked Mr. Marcel to come up and receive this one. I'm going to just read the first and last parts of it. Whereas a great state is only as great as those organizations that perform exemplary service on behalf of individuals in the community, whether through unique achievements in professional or other endeavors, or simply through a lifetime of good citizenship. Whereas it is the sense of this legislative body to honor the United States STEELBAND Association, USSA, for exemplary service to the community, state and nation upon the occasion of the 50th anniversary of independence of the Twin Island Caribbean nation of Trinidad and Tobago. Be it resolved that I, State Senator John L. Sampson, commend the United States STEELBAND Association for its tremendous years of service to the community and state, and urge all citizens to share in the celebration and to take the opportunity to educate themselves about this important organization in our great city. And be it further resolved that a copy of this proclamation be transmitted to the United States STEELBAND Association during today's event, dated August 17, 2012. In witness thereof, I am here to set my hand and signature, John L. Sampson, New York State Senate, 19th District.
Thank you.
I have the distinct honor of presenting a special proclamation from State Senator John Sampson to the government and people of Trinidad and Tobago. And I will read this one, and I will ask Vice Consul Kenrick Goya to come and receive it. And the proclamation reads, I'm going to read the entire proclamation. And the proclamation reads, recognizing the Caribbean nation of Trinidad and Tobago on its 50th anniversary of independence. Whereas August 31, 2012 marks the 50th anniversary of independence of the Caribbean island nation of Trinidad and Tobago, with a population of 1.2 million proud people, known for their strong sense of self-identity through its music, food, and rich cultural mix. And whereas Trinidad and Tobago became an independent nation in the British Commonwealth on August 31st, 1962, and has held true for 50 years to its original motto, together we aspire, together we achieve, and whose leaders are among the best in the Caribbean and the world. And whereas over 170,000 Trinidadians and Tobagonians live in the United States, the largest population and concentration in New York City, and this community has produced outstanding leaders in every area of American life, education, business, and industry. And whereas Trinidadians and Tobagonians continue to make great strides on the international stage as they excel in all areas and activities from music to sports, the country has also made its mark on the Caribbean region, where it plays a significant role in the region's political movement and integrationist organization known as Caribbean Community CARICOM. And whereas Trinidad and Tobago gave the world the music known as Calypso, that was pioneered and made popular by legendary Calypsonians like the Mike Sparrow, the Calypso King of the World, and the late Calypso Grandmaster Lord Kitchener. And the island now boasts the International Olympic Javelin gold medalist Kishan Walcott. In 2010, Trinidadians and Tobagonians elected Kamala Persad Bessasor as Prime Minister, the first female to hold that position, and only the third female Prime Minister in CARICOM. And whereas Trinidadians and Tobagonians can today look back in pride on the nation's significant achievements and draw inspiration from and emulate such luminaries as Tubal Uriah Buzz Butler, Dr. Eric Williams, Kwame Ture, George Padmore, C.L.R. James, and Captain Arthur Andrew Sibiamri, among others. And whereas this history and example is directly related to the success of Trinidadians and Tobagonians in the United States, and has produced some outstanding individuals like the former U.S. Congressman Mervyn M. Diamond, Ramnin Gashram, Nia Talata, and Roy Denzel Hibbert. And whereas Trinidad and Tobago has done remarkably well for so young a nation, as it deepens its national pride, accomplishments, and faces its development challenges with stock reserve, seeking uniquely Trinidadian solutions to Trinidad and Tobago's problems. Its strength and resolve is both admirable and commendable on the 50th anniversary of independence, and is testimony to the resilience of Trinidadians and Tobagonians both in the diaspora and in their homeland. And whereas it is the belief of this legislative body that when nations of such noble aims and accomplishments achieve such historical milestones, it is appropriate to publicly proclaim and commend those nations for the edification and emulation of others. And be it resolved, therefore, that I, State Senator John L. Sampson, recognize and salute the Caribbean nation of Trinidad and Tobago and its people on their 50th anniversary of independence, and be it further resolved that a copy of this proclamation be transmitted to Trinidad and Tobago's Consul General in New York, the Honorable Rudorati Nan Ramlugang, during today's event, Friday, August 17, 2012, In witness thereof, I have set my signature, John L. Sampson, New York State Senate, 19th District.
Okay, thank you. Ambassador Rodney Charles, Ambassador of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago to the United Nations, was unable to make it, as well as Ambassador Eden Charles, Ambassador of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago Permanent Mission to the United Nations, was also unable to make it. At this present time, we will have Ernest Skinner from Councilman Jemani Williams' office, the 45th Council District of New York.
Hello everyone. My name is Ernest Skinner, and I am the community liaison for Council Member Jemani Williams of the 45th District, representing Flatbush, East Flatbush, parts of Canarsie, Midwood, and other areas. Unfortunately, the council member is preparing for a night out because of the gun violence. We are having to occupy our corners, so he's going to be out late tonight, so he asked me to fill in, and since he knows I go to sleep early, he asked me to do the early shift. There's a proclamation that the council member has crafted. I'm not going to make any apologies, I'm going to read this, because some people did some real hard work and research. It says, whereas Jemani D. Williams, council member of the 45th District, is proud to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Trinidad and Tobago's independence and honor all Trinidadian and Tobagonian nationals and their many descendants for their profound contributions in New York City. And whereas, since Trinidad and Tobago achieved independence from Great Britain on August 31st, 1962, this great country has continued to flourish as an independent and autonomous nation. Trinidad and Tobago, located in the southern Caribbean, is just off the coast of northeastern Venezuela and south of Grenada, sharing maritime boundaries with other nations, including Barbados to the northeast, Guyana to the southwest, and Venezuela to the south and west. Although it is a country comprised primarily of twin islands, it is inextricably linked with the world beyond. And whereas today Trinidad and Tobago is a multicultural nation of 1.3 million people, and its rich cultural diversity has nurtured renowned authors like Nobel Prize winner V.S. Naipaul, C.L.R. James, and Earl Lovelace, and has brought to the world calypso, limbo, and the only new musical instrument of the 20th century, the steel band. Also, with effective long-term management of its environmental resources, this little archipelago is now one of the wealthiest countries in the Americas. And whereas Trinidad and Tobago's independence serves as a vivid example of the power of faith and perseverance in a people's effort to chart its own destiny, the nation's 50th anniversary is a fitting occasion to reflect not only on its great heritage, but also its bright future. And whereas Trinidad and Tobago's teenage sensation, Kershawn Walcott, stunned the world and entered the history books as the youngest ever Olympic javelin champion with a throw of 85.6 meters to win the gold medal at the London 2020 Olympics on August 10th. And I'm glad that you all clapped because I extemporaneously did that. I wanted to beat Gypsy. And whereas at this momentous milestone, we continue to reaffirm our bond with Trinidad and Tobago, for we are truly connected not only through blood and culture and our shared commitment to education and the environment, but also through our unwavering commitment to peace, health, and independence for all. Now therefore, be it known that Jamani D. Williams, Council Member of the 45th District, proudly celebrates Trinidad and Tobago in celebration of its 50th anniversary of independence. Signed this 17th day of August in the year 2012, the Jamani D. Williams.
folk dancers, Ujamaa dancers. very much, Ujamaa dancers. Next we'll have Moko Jumbies, Kenwin Gibbs Jr., Christian Gibbs, Rashamba Rose Marcel, and Matthew Gibbs. Let's give them a round of applause. we'll have an Indian dancer, Ashley Hagena.
We
Next up, Jean Tony, Calypsonian.
I do want to become Trinidad and Tobago on its 50th anniversary of independence. Trinidad remains the most beautiful island in the Western Hemisphere. So join me as we pay tribute. DJ.
Your majesty will be us.
Mayor, Veterans Affairs, New York City Council, member of the 40th District of Brooklyn is here. Welcome.
You know, my brothers and sisters, I'm going to be very brief. For those who don't know me, my name is Matthew Eugene, and I'm the New York City Council member representing District 40 in Brooklyn. I remember a few years ago, or for several years, I used to host this wonderful celebration. And I want to tell you that today, I'm so delighted to be with you as a brother. And I want to take the opportunity to say from the bottom of my heart to all of those from Trinidad and Tobago, happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Because Trinidad and Tobago is such a wonderful country in the Caribbean. You have a rich history, a rich culture, and your contribution to New York is remarkable. Your contribution to the United States of America is remarkable. And also I'm so proud and delighted, I feel blessed and fortunate to represent so many people from Trinidad and Tobago. Because my district, the 40th district, is in the heart of Brooklyn. Just go by Flatbush, Nostrum, Rogers, and you will see that my district is home to so many people from Trinidad and Tobago. As you celebrate 50 years of your independence, I want to tell you that as a person who was born and raised in Haiti, I know what independence is. And I know the importance of being free, because your independence is a testimony of your fight for human dignity and human respect. Because people should have freedom, and people should have the right to decide their future. And for that, I commend you, and I commend all those who have fought so hard for you to be able today to celebrate your independence. But let me say one thing to conclude. Many of us here are from the Caribbean. It doesn't matter if we were born in Haiti, Jamaica, Trinidad, and St. Lucia, but the most important thing is we are all immigrants, and we should be aware of what is going on right now in the city of New York, what is going on right now in the United States of America. Because if we don't pay attention to what is going on, all of us, regardless of our origin, we are going to be in trouble. Because the laws regarding immigration are not in favor of immigrants. You know that. Deportation, and the list is so long. If we see what is going on in New York right now, on Wednesday, August 8th, I was in front of Downstate Medical Center to protest and to rally against the layoff of 1,000 workers, 1,000 people from Downstate Medical Center. And we are talking about 1,000 families, and among them, the majority of them, they come from the Caribbean countries. They are people, they are our brothers and sisters. And when there is a crisis in this nation, the people who are suffering the most are our brothers and sisters. I'm going to conclude to say that our moral obligation is to work together. I say that all the time, and I'm going to continue to say that. Our moral obligation is to come together as one Caribbean nation, as one community, the community of immigrants, to ensure that we have our fair share, to ensure that we can work together in order for our children to have the best education possible, in order for our family members to have access to quality health care, in order for all of us to have a better place where we will raise our children, and also for us, for all of us to be able to support our country back. May God bless you. I congratulate all of you, and to those young dancers, they are so wonderful. flexible, they represent the youth, and they are the future of this country. May God bless them, and may we continue to remember that our obligation is to provide all the opportunities to the young people for them to become the leaders of this country. God bless you.
Congresswoman Yvette Clark from the 11th Congressional District of New York is here.
A pleasant good evening, everyone. It's certainly my honor, my privilege to come to commemorate this wonderful and august occasion. And I will extend greetings on behalf, I heard someone say Mama Clark, who regrets that she's unable to be here with me today, but I can assure you, I can't keep up with Mama Clark. I'd like to thank Nan Rangulam, the Consul General of Trinidad and Tobago to New York, in absentia, and the United States Steel Band Association for extending an invitation for me to participate and to be with you this evening. I'd like to also acknowledge my colleagues, Councilman Matthew Eugene and Assemblyman Nick Perry, who are present with us this evening, as well as Keith Marcel, the chairman of the United States Steel Band Association. It was August 31st, 1962, when the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago became an independent nation. The achievement of its people has been extraordinary. From the musicians Clive Bradley and Winston Spree Simon to V.S. Nepal and Derek Walcott, who were awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. I want to speak about some of the musicians who have contributed to the culture of Trinidad and Tobago. Steel Band has been an important part of the development of Trinidad and Tobago for many years, especially since independence from Great Britain. With the many ethnicities in this nation became a people, and the people of Trinidad and Tobago. It was in 1961 that several students, Ray Hallman, David Waddell, Ian Jones, John Williams, and Ronald Emmerich participated in the initial steel band performance at Queens Royal College. On Independence Day, August 31st, steel bands are still allowed to perform on the streets of Trinidad and Tobago. It was in 1963 that Panorama was introduced, allowing steel bands to enter a competition for prizes. In 1971, the steel bands formed Pan-Trinbago, the name of which demonstrates the interest of steel band members in the development of a culture that includes every person in Trinidad and Tobago. The music of steel band continues to delight audiences in Port of Spain, here in Brooklyn, New York, and indeed around the world. We have come together to celebrate the nationhood of Trinidad and Tobago, a sovereign state in the community of nations, a country proud of its many accomplishments, and a people whose contributions are celebrated worldwide. We have much to celebrate here in the United States as well, where the children and grandchildren of Trinidad and Tobago have contributed substantially to our civil society as officials in education, business, healthcare, entertainment, government, and the military. Trinidad and Tobago and the United States are important partners in the Western Hemisphere as democratic nations that achieved independence from Britain. We share the English language as well as the tradition of common law. In Washington, D.C., I've been working with my colleagues to reestablish the Caribbean Caucus. I believe the Caribbean Caucus will increase the strength of the long-standing partnership that exists between the United States and Trinidad and Tobago, as well as we share ideas in business, national and international security, and cultural affairs. In addition, I've worked to support our young people. For this reason, I am proud to work with my colleagues and President Obama on the Affordable Care Act, which will allow millions of families and children to obtain health insurance. I believe if we invest in today's youth, we invest indeed in our own future. For this reason, I've worked to maintain lower rates for student loans for college, to increase the number of students who have an opportunity to pursue an education, as well as expanded Pell Grants, which support low-income students who are often the first persons from their families to attend college. I also am in support of the DREAM Act, as well as President Obama's plan to offer deferred action and employment authorization to young people who are eligible for the DREAM Act. On Monday, this Monday coming, I will moderate a forum on deferred action and employment authorization at Medgar Evers College with representatives from the state, the city, and the federal agencies to discuss the benefits of this policy and its impact on our youth and community at large. It is important that if we know young people within our community who were born here as children but lack documentation, that we encourage them to pursue this process. I believe that this is just the first step to achieving the DREAM Act, in addition to comprehensive immigration reform. So as we continue to celebrate this milestone, this benchmark of 50 years of independence, I am proud to know that my community has grown from strength to strength because of the presence of Trinidadians and Tobagonians who have come to these shores to make this their home, to build communities that I boast about all the time in Washington, D.C. I'm constantly encouraging people that, you know, Mardi Gras in New Orleans is fine, but you haven't seen the mother of all spectaculars until you come to Labor Day in Brooklyn, New York. So as we continue to celebrate this milestone for a wonderful and industrious nation, I look forward to the great strides that we will mark the continuous growth of this remarkable nation, and even more so, its most remarkable people. Thank you so very much for extending me the invitation to be with you this evening. A blessed and happy independence to Trinidad and Tobago.
Nick Perry, last, definitely not least.
Good evening. Trinidad and Tobago. Let me join my colleagues, many who are not here, but certainly on behalf of all of my colleagues in the New York State Assembly and the Speaker of the Assembly, I take the opportunity to extend to all Trinidadians and Tobagonians, TNT people, very happy 50th anniversary. To all of you here in the United States and at home in Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you.
To join you as a son of the Caribbean in celebrating a milestone in your history. For the rest of the month, TNT and Jamaica will be in celebratory mood, and I think that even though the Jamaican athletes in the Olympic wore black, green, and gold, they have a little black, white, and red somewhere because we're all Caribbean and we share in the glory. And Trinidad did well too. Right? Did Trinidad do well? No? Didn't do as well as Jamaica because we need to import some of the yam and that we have out there. and feed your athletes, and then you will be able to get some boats, and we'll have Jamaica, Trinidad, and the Bahamas rather than Jamaica. As a Caribbean person, I feel really good and rejoice whenever any of our little island nations prevail against the big guys. And so I represent the 58th Assembly District. We are many Trinidadian and Tobagonians make their homes. And I thank you for supporting me, giving me the opportunity to represent all of you in Albany. I am the only member of the legislature that was born in the English-speaking Caribbean. So I take it as my responsibility to look out for all of us whenever the situation arises. I am very pleased that I've been joined by some second generation or first generation Caribbean Americans who are born here but also identify with the culture. They can do reggae and they can play the steel drum, and they are all Caribbean and will be joining us on Labor Day as part of our diaspora. It is indeed great that we contribute so significantly to building this country, building this city, building our community. We have transformed Brooklyn, neighborhoods that seem to have been on the way in the wrong direction. Caribbean Americans move in, we renovate, we rebuild, we start little businesses, and we thrive and succeed and change the place into a vibrant, exciting community, and that, I'm sure, makes us all proud. So today you celebrate with your brothers and sisters who are at home in the Caribbean, and I remind you that whatever we can do, make sure that we help provide and pave the way to create opportunities and access to education for all of those who remain in the Caribbean, because that's what we need in our little part of the world. Educational access to high quality education, because education is going to provide for all of us the ladder to success. And as we move forward and we celebrate the next 50 years, many of us will not be here. I'm going to work hard to try to be here. My Trinidad friend back there is all gray here. I know he won't be here. But we will work hard to provide for the Caribbean, and don't forget our roots. God bless you. Trinidad and Tobago, enjoy your 50th anniversary, and I look forward to celebrating with you at all the rest of the events you have planned for the grand occasion. Congratulations to you.
The Tasa drummers. Marcel.
Good night, everyone. I'd like to thank you for my God giving us the blessings of our lives this morning. And we are here today. And so thank everyone here for coming by to help us celebrate this milestone. A few apologies, as you heard it before. Ambassador Charles, Ronald Charles, is on vacation and he couldn't be here. So he extended his office, extended his apologies. Ambassador Charles, I spoke to him, he got a package from Trinidad and they asked him to go to the community, so he could not be here. I'd like to thank the Vice Consul, Mr. Dyer, Representative Consul General, and it was a pleasure having you in our presence here tonight. Our elected officials, the new elected officials, Congresswoman Clark, one of our strong supporters in the community. Thank you for coming. Senator John Sampson, I'd ask Mr. Roberts to extend our thanks to him for his proclamation and for his wishes. Senator Perry, thank you for your presence here. Councilman William Jean, thank you for your presence here also. I'd like to thank Mrs. Skinner, or I'd like to thank Councilman Williams, and ask Mrs. Skinner to express our gratitude for his presence here. I would like to officially introduce the people that work with us, our Borough President, Mike Marcus, our Deputy Borough President, Ms. Chapman Cambridge School. I would thank them for the use of this facility, and as you know, this is here for everyone who is staying tonight. I'd like to thank a few other people, and there are two young ladies here. I'd like to bring them up. Caitlin and Nicole. You didn't see them too much, but I need to recognize them and thank them for being here and being representative of Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank one of our biggest supporters, Mr. Yvette Rennie, who works with Jubilee. There isn't anything that we don't ask for that she does not put together for us. And she assisted us a great deal with this influential tonight. She did our programs. It's handiwork, it's no work. Thank you, Ms. Rennie. I want to recognize, before I go any further, some of the board members of USSC. Our Vice Chair, Mr. Martin, could you just pop in and say, we will run? I know they're trying to clean up. We'll probably miss cleaning up. You saw Mrs. Canterbury, our Director of Public Relations. There's a young lady that works very hard. We don't see her. And together they come up here tonight, a SWAT team. Together they come up and put her presence here. I can't even see her. Where is she? Miss Colette Baptiste, where is she? Here she is. Thank you. Great position. Thank you. We have two other young backbone, the strong part of the organization. Our treasurer, Mr. Kamal Hutchison. Where is he? He was a part-time bartender for tonight. Again, they're trying to clean up, so they probably need to do some work on our events coordinator. That is Mr. Travis Roberts. Here he is, Mr. Roberts. I'd like to acknowledge him. I also would like to acknowledge some other people in our midst. The lady that put this costume together, Ms. Celestine, Cheryl Celestine. Thank you for your assistance. We have sponsors.
that assisted us with our competition in the summer. Ms. Pereira from Perfect Touch Museum. Tonight. That's their happy work. Perfect Touch Museum. I would like to extend some gratitude and thanks to my family. They worked tireless nights, the kids on the working families. They stayed up 3 nights putting those costumes together. Mr. Kevin Sr., my wife, Teresa is inside, his wife, Mary, and one of the gentlemen who's not here, a gentleman by the name of Simon. He helped put the costumes together, like the time also. I know there was one name that I left out, and I didn't even know that I put the last because there's a message I need to send out. And the name is Western American Carnival Association. And I'm making a statement tonight, which I made in the presence of them at one of the meetings. United States STEELBAND Association will be working hand in hand with Western American Carnival Association to do whatever we can to help bring the panorama aspect of the New York Carnival to a better footing. Whatever success they need, we are going to provide that. One of our missions here today is to eliminate the division that has been happening within our Caribbean community over the years. It has to stop. We are not getting anywhere. We are not getting anywhere. Our community is so splintered and divided that we can't get anything. If you go through the funding process that takes place from the city to all the ethnic groups in New York City, we stand here. There's a reason why we stand here. It's not their fault, it's our fault. It is our fault because we have been divided and we've been fighting each other over the years. And you cannot get anywhere fighting each other. The Jewish community are like this, tight, firm. Every other community in New York is like that. Us, Trinidadians and Ethiopians, we backstab each other, we fight each other. And I'm saying, don't get me wrong, I have had my battles with Western American Carnival Association. Since the age of 18, I'm battling with them. Joyce and I used to have tug of wars. But that has to stop because it's not benefiting them and us, all of us. We have a gem. I remember last year, 2 days after Labor Day, in this same place, all the politicians that you see here tonight, plus others, came in support of Western American Carnival Association because there were forces out there trying to get them off the target. Every shooting that took place around Brooklyn, even in Harlem, they blame on the Caribbean Carnival. Why? Why are we getting that blame? We go outside, we have fun, we put our masks, and our liquor in our hand. We're not there for we're loving people. But one of the reasons why they can do things like that is because we fight each other. And they see that, so they use these things to get in between us. So again, I'm saying, in 2013, you're going to be hearing ventures where Western American Carnival Association and United States STEELBAND Association will be taking on together to help raise funds to help the steel bands. We're going to be here to work with the mass organization also, and we're here to work with Jubilee also. But I'm making this pledge, and I'm saying this, we will be working together because it's too hard. Steel bands outside here put out too many funds of their own pocket, and it's not much coming back. And again, it's our fault because we have not been doing the right things to bring this into our community, right? The leading officer for Western American Day Carnival Association is present. Is Ms. Gina Alexander, she's the secretary. We have a few other board members, Mr. Bab, who is the chairperson this year of the Panorama Committee. Ms. Commoner is here also. I'd like to recognize them. Is there anybody else here from the other? Board members otherwise? I don't want to leave anybody out. All right. We have another gentleman here, I need to thank Mr. CATO. He's been doing with us at all of our ventures, and he will be videographing everything that we have. All right, so he will be here, you will see his face a lot. And again, I want to stress this out again. I need to say this. We need to be together. We have to be together. All right. Mr. Bailey is the new president of Western American Day Carnival Association. Again, I'll be working with him in whatever capacity that I can, and my organization can, to try and do what we can to make things better for the steel bands in New York. Alright? One last thing. We have another function this year in October 20th. Please mark that date up. We're not sure who the artists are yet, but we have a venture called A Night of Park, a Jazz on Park. And this will be coming up on the 20th of October at the Brooklyn Museum in the auditorium. We will have all our promotions ready for Panorama Night, so you can look out for the artists that will be performing from Panorama Night. Again, if there are any people that I have forgotten, please excuse me. We are running a little behind time, so we have to rush out of here. But again, I'd like to thank every single person for coming in tonight. You helped make this night beautiful. And we did this with Trinidad and Tobago. What's it? Mrs. Canterbury would like to say a few words, please.
Baptiste's name mentioned very much, so humblest apologies. Ms. Colette, MC for the night, we thank you so very much. All I wanted to conclude this with is simple. If everyone will rise to their feet, please. We've said praises, we've entertained you, we appreciate in these hallowed halls everything that you've done for us and with us. So right now we'd like to just say, God bless America, but most of all, God bless Trinidad on its 50th independence. Together we aspire, together we will achieve. Amen and amen.
Thank you. Everyone, home safely. Oh, by the way, if anybody's looking for a jumper, Despot's USA is having their launch tonight at Atlantic Avenue in person. You can go down there. There's 12 steel bands. I don't know all the names, but they're having their launch tonight. So as you leave here,
say, yo, touch it up. Touch it up. Yo, this is Marshall Montano HD. We say big up Touch Up TV every time. #1 series strong. Hit!